So, if you ever feel like things on this application are suppressed or hard to see, I don't think you should look at the current environment. I think you should go back all the way to 1996 and Bill Clinton and then the Dixie Chicks. In 1996, Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act. That act was basically written by the radio industry. One of the things the 1996 Telecommunications Act did is it stopped the cap on how many radio stations any one company could own. Prior to the 1996 Telecommunications Act, any one company could only own 40 radio stations. After that, it was gone. And so then you saw this explosion of ownership by Clear Channel and Cumulus. And then you have the Dixie Chicks. Within a decade of Bill Clinton signing the Telecommunications Act of 1996, Cumulus and Clear Channel owned hundreds of radio stations. I mean, Clear Channel owned over 1,200, Cumulus owned hundreds more. And then you have the escalation to the Iraq War in the early 2000s. You have the Dixie Chicks at this concert, and they make this famous sentence. At this concert, 9 days before the war starts, Natalie Main says, "We don't want this war, this violence, and we're ashamed that the president of the United States is from Texas." And that was essentially the first massive cancellation of a music group. Within 48 hours of that statement by Natalie Maines, Cumulus, the second largest owner of radio broadcasting in the United States, organized a blanket 30-day ban. So this was a top-down effort. And then Clear Channel basically sends a wink and a nod, and Clear Channel says, oh, well, it's up to local stations to determine what they do. But the effect was immediate. You had people literally like rolling tractors over CDs in parking lots. So this was not a decision where listeners of the Dixie Chicks or listeners of the media came and said, we're outraged by this. This was a blanket boycott from the second largest radio station owner in the entire United States, then sort of supported with a wink and the nod from Clear Channel, which don't get me started on Clear Channel, but it was where this first started, where the corporate ownership of media first proved that owners at the top could control the narrative. And they were very successful. This essentially stalled the Dixie Chicks' massive success. Prior to this ban, the Dixie Chicks music pulled at like 90% favorability. So when you look at this app and you think, oh, I think my views are being censored, it's not necessarily because of something that's happening today. It goes all the way back to 1996, back to Clear Channel, and back to Bill Clinton, baby.